the goal of this show was to combine my two favorite shows in some way, three favorite shows: The Simpsons, MASH, and The Wonder Years. You know, there's kind of a voiceover air of nostalgia. There's a funny, silly comedy that can do emotional shows. And The Simpsons, the coolest thing about The Simpsons is that all their secondary characters are actually funny. You know, they aren't just people that show up, you know, to say, "Where did you go? What did you do? I'm your girlfriend." You know, hence, you know, Sam Lloyd, who plays Ted the attorney. You know, Loma Wright, who plays Nurse Roberts. Rob Maschio, who plays the Todd. You know, these guys are all major contributors. But the way that this show works is it has to walk this weird tightrope between broad, silly comedy and stories of emotional depth. And the episodes that work the worst, you know, that really fail, they go too far one way or the other. They're too silly or they're too dramatic and they don't work. The only reason this show works is because all of these actors, and I can tell you a dramatic moment for each one of them, like in that Wizard of Oz thing where Donald can be a goofy idiot that whole show, and then on a dime switch and have that real dramatic scene with that guy playing the father. They get emotional, and it's really weird to watch because on Scrubs on the set, you might be shooting a goofy slapstick scene with a fantasy 1 second, and the next second you're all being you know, really quiet and welling up because he's talking to a guy like his son is dying. And I don't know how they pull it off because I don't have that depth of emotion. Every time I try to go down to a deeper level, I just kind of come up with "I'm hungry." But these guys can speak to it because each one of them, you know, even Krista, who plays this, who plays this mean, you know, bigger than life character. When she first came on, she was pregnant. She had a crying scene in the bathroom. Neil Flynn, you know, had to admit to Elliot, you know, that she was in one episode that her character was the only one that was ever nice to the janitor.
That was good.
And yeah,
that was a good one.
Do you know what I mean? And
you know, can I point out something? It's interesting. Is at least for me, it's a balancing act. I'm usually funny on the show. And
always
so,
funny, you know.
all right, always. But in between those takes, if I have to be funny on camera, then I'll be really morose when the camera's not running. Have you noticed that?
I have not.
I'm going to stick with this. I go through anger and tears, and when they say rolling, and I do something really funny, you know. And that's I'm making all this up. And thought it might fly. It's a little weird.
Sarah has a song she listens to.
I do.
What is it? I will remember.
She does. Sarah has this. She eats
I
more
get
than
made fun of
anybody.
for having an iPod that, you know, we're filming,
Not
and
for having an
sometimes you're
iPod.
moving very quickly, and you have like 2 seconds, and literally.
What's the song? What's your cry song?
I'm not telling.
She can literally turn around, put her iPod on, and turn back around and be covered
I
with
think
tears.
it's the
I
I
can
Will
do it right
Remember
now?
You song. No, please.
No, don't do that.
Sarah's great at crying. She's the best.
I've had a terrible life.
When Aloma, when
Oh, Judy in that one.
yeah,
That's
when
it.
Nurse Roberts passed away on the show, it was very emotional, and we all had to sit and watch Judy pour her heart out to, you know, Aloma, who you know, at this point she realizes, you know, this is it for me, and she's on the bed, you know, she's supposed to be in a coma, and all you see is tears coming down her cheek.
That was great, and Judy, I loved your performance in that, and everybody's. But the other side of that, the non-emotional side, when like me and Ted and High Five and Todd were saying goodbye to her, we're saying, and so anyway, it was up. We had to wake her up more than once. Just audibly snoring over the tape. So
It's because I think your character was saying something about the Norse god of Valhalla welcoming her.
yeah, it wasn't particularly interesting.
That happens a lot, by the way, in the ICU scenes. There's so many patients in beds that all of a sudden your music gets taken and you go,
It's the best gig ever
it's
for
the
background.
best gig for
'Cause
background.
They
Come to
show,
work and fall asleep.
They show up, put a gown on, get in that comfortable bed. We'll see you in 8 hours.
If only they knew that the sheets haven't been changed in 7 years.
Does the Emmy thing ever bother you guys? It bothers me.
No.
It was fun to get to go when we got to be nominated
shut
for
up.
2 years. I had a pretty good time.
We wish we won something, of course. We won a couple things. What did we win?
We won, I think we won like a
Best
Costco
use of carpeting.
Yes.
There was 1 year we were nominated for nothing except Best Show.
And that's which by the way made us laugh because
And
in the
we lost
Emmys,
$2.5
there's 100
million.
categories, and it means that in every individual category, were really crappy. But in that one big
But
category.
if you put them all their crappiness together,